Right, so welcome to my review of this Candy GrandO 8 kilo condenser dryer on number Go580c from Candy. It's one of Candy's basic dryers, but even as a basic dryer it still comes with sensor drying as standard. We've got an 8 kilogram drum in there, though it's exactly the same used on 10. The nice thing I like about this is the drum paddles are big and all the way across. This is quite good because I've also had candies where they're thin and they often got tangling rounds here where they sat in. This design of drum isn't very good. You can see sort of some kind of corrosion from use. The filter's down here. I don't mind the filter design, it's quite good actually. It does, if you look at it, this is pretty fail free compared to other filters of this type. So it's better than Hot Points, Creeders and Bosch's and Siemens and stuff. Much more robust in that sense. Downsides though is that this is still not big enough for the low capacity or whatsoever. It's too tiny, it needs to be much bigger. Door's pretty good, it's pretty sturdy. There is one downside, and that if you push against it, which somebody has at some point, it does crack here. The nice thing though is that it doesn't actually completely break away. This is all still intact despite being cracked. For some other reason it's also cracked here to here. Not all the way across. Some scratches on this. And the candy badge has disappeared from over time of cleaning the machine down. The other good thing about these older type candy dryers is they use the older type heater, which uses a coil spring. The new one uses sort of just metal wire and mesh, and it just sort of all collapses over time. No, the spring laser ones are a lot better. They still had a heater failure, don't get me wrong, but it took much longer to break than the modern generation of heaters. Right, we have our condenser. It condenses in a tank at the bottom, and it's behind this stupid flap, which isn't a very good design. I'm not saying that broke because of the design, I'm just saying it broke because of use, because unfortunately you have to take this off every single time you want to empty the water bottle on this. And it's even broke on that side. It's going. I'm going to glue that back on. But other than that, if the trouble is that you have to take it off each time. What they should have done with these is made a pull down system on an Indesit. But no. Every time you take it off, you're going to put it to the side. So what we have is a cool intake here to cool the condenser down. We've got our condenser here, which is rubbish. The veins are too thin, they clog up way too easily, and then you have to, when you rinse it out, I struggle sometimes to get all of it completely clear. Then we've got our water bottle here. Not a bad design, but of course, the tab has broke for this here. The tabs broke here for this cap. Saying that, there's an OCD do the same if it's the bottom type. So when we take it out, you're supposed to take it out, hold it downwards like that, and then you can empty it in your sink or whatever. Just put it back. That tab gets in the way, and there we go. Then we just put our cover back on. Then the trouble is getting this cover back on. To get it on, you have to put it under here first, and then push it on. You can see why it gets broken. Horrible design. They could do away with. And no, it's still not fixed it, because of course underneath this dryer is a Candy GrandO Vita, and it's a modern version with they've updated the flap, but you still have to take it off every single time. Right, so we've got our programs at the top here. This is actually your indicator. It looks a little bit confusing as there's so many, but the slightly longer one and thinner one is your indicator. That's your off position at the top here. You can turn it either way to select the program, to turn it on. So we've got 2 beeps to start off with to let us know that it's turned on. We have 2 buttons here. The top one says for acrylics and synthetics. Press that, it does lower heat setting, saying that the heater isn't that big on this anyway, so it doesn't get particularly hot. Then we've got a delay start at the bottom here of 3, 6 or 9 hours. Press start, it goes backwards, then it goes, then it will start the cycle, it'll go on to dry, and then progress to cool down and end. So your top, these 3 indicators here are indicating where it is in the drying cycle. When it gets to cool tumble, it will be about 10 minutes or so before it gets to the actual end of the cycle. Saying that, you don't need to be around to know whether it's actually ended. You'll get a beep like we just when we turn on to let you know that it's ended. The other thing it has is auto anti-crease on this, so once the cycle is finished, it will do an anti-crease phase indefinitely until you open up the machine. And what I hadn't realised is I left this on all night after I did a cycle to test it, and the anti-crease phase still beeps even throughout the night. So even when it's finished, instead of just doing it for 5 minutes like Insit or Hotpoint does when they reach their anti-crease phase, no, this is endless, just doesn't stop. Right, so the first mark in here is extra dry setting. So this is for multi-layered fabrics such as like jeans and stuff like that, where you've got more than one layer. Cover dry, these are for thick fabrics, or shall I say a mix of maybe light and heavier fabrics. Gets it completely dry. Hanger dry / standard. This is the standard cycle for the machine. It gets it to completely dry, but it only really works more on fabrics with the same thickness. So if you're drying a load of towels, this works actually very well. Now weirdly, the extra dry option at the top sometimes is labelled as all towels later on, and to be honest, no, it's actually incorrect really. All towels should be the hanger dry setting. I did a whole load of towels, just towels, and it came out perfectly dry. Then we've got iron dry. These will leave your items damp, so you hang them up to finish them off. You go over the iron will take more moisture out, then you hang them up to finish off for 24 hours. We've got a special wool finishing cycle. So once your wool is almost dry, you put your woolens in here and it will basically soften them up basically. We've got, it looks like shirts, but it isn't. It's known as an anti-crease or easy iron, to put it into another word. What you do, you put a small load in of clothes that are heavily creased. It uses heat, of course, to relax the fibres, and then you take them out and you can then iron them. So it will make your iron days a little bit easier with those heavily creased items. No need to just keep rapidly using the iron. The reason why this is quite special rather than using a normal timed mode is because it does heat for about 10 minutes, then just does a cool down for just 2 minutes. So there's still loads of heat within the clothes. We've got a 40-minute rapid cycle. I do believe it's a bit of a sensor dry cycle, so if it already reaches cupboard dry, I think before the end of the 40 minutes, it will actually be even quicker. But at the end of the day, the 40 rapid is to go with the 15-minute rapid wash on your washing machine, so it's only 2 kilo at most. Then we've got our timed drying. You can have 150 minutes. So you've got 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 90 minutes, 75 minutes, an hour and a quarter, 60 minutes or an hour, 45 minutes or 3/4 an hour, half an hour, and then we've got cool down only. The cool down, or freshen up as it might also be known as, is to be used if you interrupt one of the cycles while the machine is still completely hot. Put it on this cycle with nothing in, and it will cool the actual heater down to prevent it prematurely blowing. Unfortunately, a lot of people ignore this and their heaters prematurely blow. So unfortunately, that's what happens. Right, the acrylic synthetics option is available with all the programs, basically, obviously apart from these 3 down here. But you can have acrylics low dry on extra cupboard hanger or iron dry, and you can have it on the time cycles as well. Right. So we've got a load of different layered fabrics in there. So for this, we're going to select cupboard dry. So dry is lit. We'll progress through the cycle. When the machine gets to cool down, the light will move over and eventually onto end. Right, so results then. So have a look. Oh, that's wrong. Everything's dry. Perfectly dry. There's a fluff filter. So let's have a look at that again. Everything's been caught by the looks of things. And then finally, when we're finished, obviously we've got to take this out. There's our water bottle. And after all that drying, that's how much water we've got. Just that bit there. It's a big bottle, so you might be able to, if you're doing smaller loads, you might get about 3 or 4 loads out. If you're doing 4 loads, you might get 2 in after each cycle. Right, so what's my final thought on these candy dryers? Right, well, there's a few issues. One being in that bottom panel there. The other is the reliability of these. None of these are reliable at all. But you might get a good one. This seems to be a good one. Although after about 7-8 years, it's quite still poor in consideration. The sensor can be a little... The sensors on these can either work fine or completely just not work at all. So much so that you might end up with a candy dryer where it doesn't sense correctly and will leave things damp all the time on, say, the cupboard or the extra dry setting. I've had that in the past. It's hit and miss, but this actual very particular dryer that I have now fixed and hoovered out and everything is proving to be quite okay. Drying times are still very long, even for relatively small loads. So an 8 kilo load will take absolutely ages to dry. For a condenser dryer, that's not even for a heat pump. A heat pump dryer will probably be faster than this and save you more energy. So it's swings and roundabouts either way. Probably not when you're considering a heat pump dryer will be faster than this. So overall, what I'm going to give this 6 out of 10. It's not bad, but it could be a lot better. And there are better brands out there for not much more money. I know this is one of the cheapest condenser dryers, but there are better dryers out there, even for a little bit more money. Right, anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.